Canada. Canada. So if someone went to me and told me, okay, Canada, what's the first thing you think about when someone says Canada? Now, if you're not into sports, you're not that much of a sport, because I'm a sports guy. One of my favorite things I used to watch was like Euro sports, but I've always been a sports person because I just like sports. So this is Wayne Gretzky. And Wayne Gretzky is considered the greatest ice hockey player of all time. So he literally is the GOAT. He's the Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, Pele Maradona of ice hockey. So when I just think Canada, and this is just Canada in general, not I just think, oh, ice hockey, Wayne Gretzky. That's just the first thing that comes to my mind is Wayne Gretzky and hockey. What else comes to my mind? It's cold. Because I remember I was thinking of just this was years ago. I was considering like, okay, wait, let me try and go to Canada first for some like, I think it was just to like do some to maybe live there and maybe work there and so forth. And then a guy told me that, bro, okay, it's cool, great people, nice people, everything. It's freezing. So if you're a heat merchant like I am, it isn't the warmest climate. It is super cold, and yes, your balls will turn into icicles. I was like, okay, so maybe I'm not really want to ride in there. Drake, Drake has literally put Canada on the map. I think before Drake, Canada was just known as, okay, it's cold, Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky, it's cold. But Drake came in, completely turned the music industry on its head. And not only that, he pretty much wore Canada on his sleeves. And OVO, what's called October's very own. Also, we have we have the same birthday month, October. So he says, and the OVO is one of the biggest music festivals in the world. Like, it is one of the big, OVO is as big as Lollapalooza, as freaking Glastonbury and so forth. It's massive. And that's a huge tourism. So what Drake has done for Canada, both in terms of tourism, in terms of popularity, and in terms of just bringing some cool into it, is huge and massive. It's huge and massive, So, yeah, I think now Canada, when most people now think about Canada, they think about Drake. And they think about Drake, they think about OVO. So like, oh yeah, sure, where am I going? Yeah, I'm going to Canada because I'm going to the OVO festival, which attracts some of the biggest musical acts out there. So Canada owes a heck of a lot to Drake. In terms of putting them on my they owe a heck of a lot to him, because really the biggest musical artist of the last decade or more has been a Canadian. So a Canadian has been the biggest musical artist on the planet, and so forth. So, and those streams, they mean a lot, man. So yeah. So the other one is Drake. Also, whoa, what? Keanu, aka Neo, aka John Wick, aka my name's Johnny Utah, how many people know who Johnny Utah is? Let me say, don't Google. How many of you know who Johnny Utah is? Okay, if you can tell me the film that Johnny Utah is in, then okay, you're a movie merchant like me. Keanu Reeves, Keanu Reeves, he is. I know his father was from Hawaii, I believe, and I think his mother was English, but I think he has Canadian citizenship. And then recently, when that bomb-ass trash Matrix 4 film, which doesn't exist, came out, he was put on the Canada's Walk of Fame. So, Canada do have guys. They do have guys. And yes, you've got Deadpool as well, around Reynolds. And I think they say The Rock is Canadian. I don't know about that. But Canada have guys, But I do feel that, in recent times, it's really been, Keanu and Drake. But really, it's really been Drake. Drake has really been the guy that's put Canada on the forefront. So football has not really been a thing that you associate them with. And speaking about the World Cup, the last time Canada have only qualified for one World Cup for this one, and that was back in 1986. And I think they actually finished last, based on performance level. So football has just not been a thing that kind of really invested in. Anything else, whether it's Olympics, athletics, see ice hockey, now music. Now Drake has put them on the map musically, acting wise, whether it's Ken Reeves, whether it's Reynolds. They've never really gone into the whole sports side of things. But that changed. That changed. I think, with the help of immigration and really pinpointing talents from around the world and really encouraging talents from all around the world to get past, to take part in the biggest sports in the world, something I think that America should be doing, and America can learn a lot from what Canada has been doing recently with immigration. Success. Canada were outstanding and superb in qualifying, and this has mostly been a qualification that has been, I think this is CONCACAF. This has been a qualification that has mostly been dominated by either America or Mexico. So most times either Mexico finished top or America finished top. But Canada came and they were so superb. I think it was only up until the last few games that they were actually unbeaten. They were amazing. And I think that, you now have another big player in this thing. So Mexico and America's kind of stronghold of this qualification has officially come to an end. It's now a 3-horse race, now a 3-headed monster, And Canada are coming. They're here. They've arrived. And I just have a sneaky feeling. I don't want to give anything because I don't want to jinx Canada, because there are loads of people, guys I consider friends, who are Canadian, and I do want Canada to do well, because I feel them being their first World Cup in such a long time and so forth. I'm like, you know what, it would be cool for them to do well. And shout out to all of my Canadian friends out there, So, but I just have a sneaky feeling. But then again, how much can you expect from them in what is a pretty tough group? With it's a tough group with two very strong teams, two very very strong teams in that group. But we all need a striker. We need to finish at the end of the day. Goals win games, and it's about getting the ball inside that fishnet. And when Lille won the Uber Eats ahead of PSG, with obviously Galtier, who's not the PSG manager, one of the key reasons was Jonathan David. He had an absolutely superb, amazing season, and you obviously need a great team. Everyone is important. The keeper, the defender, the midfield, everyone is important. But as we saw with Jenny for so many years with Klose, Brazil with Ronaldo, Italy with Baggio, Spain with David Villa, having a guy who you can depend upon to try and find that key goal that can really say what's up and put the ball in the back of the net, I think is very, very helpful. And I think if Jonathan David can come to Qatar and bring his best, this could be something very pivotal and very key. So, because Jonathan David will have to play a huge role as if Canada can do something truly special and make it out of the group. That's the main thing. We'll get to what they can do, but I think this is a very strong striker and a good. You don't need an amazing, superb striker. Those are a dime a dozen. But if you have just a good striker, that is a great foundation to build off of and something to play towards. So Jonathan David, he's going to be very important. We all know how much I rate this guy. I think he's superb. And here's the thing, because I liken this to Alaba. So for maybe between 2014, 2015, you could argue that Alaba was the best left back in the world. And it's funny because they both play for Bayern. But then Austria used him as a DM because they felt that your qualities are so strong, it would be wasted if we just put you as left back. We have to put you in the DM position. Now, I believe that Alphonso Davies plays left back. Whether he does or he doesn't, he should play left back, because I think that when you look at the modern game, that left back is very important. And the left back can affect the game, specifically offensively, a lot more than the DM. The DM can't really affect the game that much. But when you just look at how you have to spread play, the overlap, crosses, and just trying to now attack the opposition's box through diagonals. That wing back is very important. It's very, very, very key. And there are very few teams in the modern day that do not play with wing backs. There are very few teams in the modern day where wing backs don't play a crucial offensive role. So as much as Jonathan David is a striker and so forth, he's the guy closest to the goal. Alphonso Davies will play. He is Canada's best player. Hands down, he's Canada's best player. Because he is world class. Obviously he may be out of form. When he's on form, he's arguably the best left back in the world, and when he's at his best, he is truly outstanding. And when he's at his best, he can definitely influence the game. So he's going to be very, very crucial. I think if you're Canadian, this is going to be great. You're like, finally, American can't have their fun. We can now really get behind our dudes. And I think what Canadians will want is, have a good outing. Morocco, Croatia, Belgium. Morocco, Croatia, Belgium. It's a tough group. And I think that most people would say that on paper, Croatia and Belgium should make it through. And here's the thing. I think it's great for how it is for Canada. Canada's first game is against Belgium. And how they say, sometimes people say, you want to build up, so I wish we had Morocco first. I think that is the best game for Canada to enter this World Cup in. Hit the ground running. So first game, boom, we're here. Because Belgium, a team that finished third 4 years ago, that is the perfect way to go through. And I think that it's all about the mentality that Canada enter this with. They could enter with a mentality of nothing is expected from us, no pressure, let's just go out and enjoy ourselves. And that should be true to an extent. But I think it should be a balance. It is a case of enjoy yourselves. Belgium have massive pressure based on them finishing third and the amount of players that they have. So they have huge pressure on them. So does Croatia to a lesser degree. No. Let's be real. So you have a team who finished third last 4 years ago and the team who finished second 4 years ago. So the third and the second place teams of 4 years ago are both in the same group. So this is not an easy group for Canada. It's not an easy introduction. But I think that at the same time as you got to enjoy yourselves, not much is expected of you. I think there should also be an element of, let's try and win this. Let's try and win this group. And let's go out and try to beat Belgium. Because you have to have that mentality. Because what I always say about the World Cup is, I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you're Panama, Greece. I don't care. Every team should try to win the World Cup. And you should just try to say, okay, how can we use a specific strategy, whether it's all men behind the ball, double team, triple team, super defensive, counter-attack, really just put 3-4 guys on the star player. What strategy do we have to do within our means, knowing who we have and who we're going up against? What strategy can we have to try to win a game? Because the way that football works, just the way that sports works, the better team doesn't always win. More times than not, they do, but they don't always win. The team with the better strategy and the team that knows how to execute their strategy wins. It's not about a team having better players. If you have players who are committed, and if you have the right strategy that gets the best out of your players and exposes your opposition's weakness, you can win the game. Because football is about tactics. It's about strategy. And if you have the right strategy, the inferior team can beat the superior team. So I'm going to be watching closely. I expect Belgium and Croatia to make it through the group. But it's the World Cup. It's the World Cup. And I think that this is an amazing opportunity for Canada, for guys representing the country. And this is something historic, a competition they've not been in since 1986. So for them, yes, enjoy yourselves, but just don't go there to make the numbers. And I think that, especially them playing against Belgium, they have to go and say, no, we want to beat them. Belgium should win. I expect Belgium to win based on just how talented Belgium are. Freaking De Bruyne, Carrasco, all these dudes. But Canada have to go in with the mentality of no, we're not coming here to just participate. We're coming in here to try to beat Belgium, to try to beat Croatia, to try to beat Morocco and top this group. You have to have that positive winning mentality. So yeah, man. Oh, Canada. Let's see what y'all do.